Hey, I'm Doug. Welcome to Backcountry Pilgrim, a channel all about hiking, camping, and backpacking and the gear that goes with it. Speaking of gear, I want to talk to you today about the Klymit Maxfield two-person tent. Most backpackers have heard of Klymit, the manufacturer of some great sleep pads. In 2019, they entered into the world of tent making. And their first offering was the Maxfield tent, which I'll be reviewing right here. It retails for $400, comes in at about $365 on Amazon, but at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how to get it at a substantial discount. Get you down to about $315. The Klymit Maxfield 2 is a 3-season, two-person tent, but there is a 4-person version available. Now, just to get this out of the way up front, the Maxfield two-person tent comes in at 4 pounds 3 ounces, packed with a 3-pound 12-ounce trail weight and a fast fly weight of 3 pounds 3 ounces. I would place it more in the lightweight category. The fast fly weight is essentially just putting up the rain fly with the footprint, which you need to purchase separately. The Klymit Maxfield is a semi-freestanding tent. It would be possible in a bind to set up the tent without stakes, especially if you have the footprint. However, many of the tent's features and structural capabilities would be lost. It measures about 84 inches by 51 inches, giving it just a little over the standard 29 square feet for a two-person tent. It's got a 42-inch peak, so there is plenty of room to sit up in. It's 19 by 6 inches, packed into its innovative Maxfield mat roll bag, which I will be talking about. Overall, the size of the tent is pretty great. I'm coming from a Lanshan 2, so I am used to having a decent amount of space, but compared to it, the Klymit Maxfield 2 feels more like a palace. You could definitely get 2 people in this tent comfortably. In fact, they could probably both move to either ends of the tent to change clothes. If you're hiking with a dog, you've got plenty of room for the dog at one end of the tent. It is kind of a tapered tunnel shape, so a lot of your space comes from the length, although you can fit 2 sleep pads side by side. If you're just going by yourself or with a pet, you're going to have plenty of room. Now, the setup that I'm going to do is going to be pretty standard. This is about my 3rd or 4th pitch. Basically just want to let you see what it looks like set up. One of the very first things you're going to notice about the Maxfield 2 is the super cool stuff sack. It's not even really a stuff sack, it's really more of a roll bag that they call the Maxfield mat. And what I love about this thing is that you just pop the ends off and roll it out, and there is all of the equipment that you need to set up the tent laid out before you on a nice water-resistant mat that you can set up in the dirt or even muddy conditions, and you're going to have a nice clean work area to do your setup. When you are done and you have packed up all of this gear, it's so great to just be able to lay everything in here, roll it up, cap it off, pull the straps, and go. There is no need to worry about stuffing a soaking wet tent into a bag. All you're going to have to do is roll it up loosely, get it close is close enough with this bag. The other cool thing about the Maxfield mat is that it actually becomes kind of a nice little entryway floor mat that you can use once the tent is set up. It fits inside the front vestibule and gives you a nice place to put your stuff so that you're not having to just set it right on the ground. So nothing is wasted in this setup. Now, I'm going to be setting up the Maxfield 2 with its footprint that you need to purchase separately. It runs about $45, weighs about 8.5 ounces. This is a 40D footprint that allows you to fast pitch the tent where you just use the rain fly as a freestanding structure. Now, according to the company, the tent can be dry pitched. They don't advertise it that way. However, it is nice to know that if you are in extreme weather, it is indeed possible to get in under the rain fly and set up a shelter without allowing rain to get inside.
All right, well, I managed to get the tent set up. First time dry pitch, second time full pitch. Came together pretty well. I did miss a couple clips, but I was able to get them from the inside, which was very nice. So the tent was just barely moist. I was able to just towel off the floor and set up my system.
Now the tent itself is a 40D nylon floor with 20D mesh walls. It comes with 10 Y-shaped aluminum stakes. You're going to need 4 more stakes if you want to take advantage of every single guy line tie-out point that the tent offers. With the 10 stakes that come with it, you can do a perfectly acceptable pitch. You're simply not going to be able to use every single possible tie-out that the tent gives you, and really there are so many of them, I don't really think it is necessary. It also comes with a metal tube that will act as a protection sleeve if you get a broken pole. That can be a little extra peace of mind in case something snaps. The setup is a series of numerous but fairly simple steps. Basically what you want to do is start at the 4 corners of the footprint or tent, stake them down somewhat loosely, and then they can be tightened using the cordage. You then have 4 side loops. The pole, and yes, there is only one pole, although it may not look like it when it comes out of the bag, is sort of shaped like a capital I, with color-coded poles toward the front, where the door goes, and on the left side of the tent, where they're going to be orange. The right side is gray. These correspond to orange and gray clips on the footprint or the tent, so it is very easy to see whether or not you have set up the pole correctly. Basically what I like to do is simply clip them into one side, walk around to the other side, bend them up, and snap them in. And basically the pole just sets inside a little metal hole, pops right in very easily. In fact, the clips are so simple, I can do them one-handed. You then clip in the back and clip in the front to the small pole sections that are sticking out from that capital letter I. The front one did confuse me for a moment because everything I had read about it said that there was supposed to be a material flap that it fed into. Mine actually came with a small circular loop. Once the structure is basically set up, all you need to do is go around connecting the snap hooks to the pole. These follow a back and forth pattern that keeps it a little bit more secure. At the 2 cross points of the pole, you do have a strange looking little attachment that actually spins back and forth. At both points, there is a small black cube attached to the strapping on the tent that simply slides onto the clear piece on the pole. And when you're done, you're just going to want to tension everything out as you like. The tent itself has a D-shaped door in the front. It is, as I said, kind of a tapered tunnel-shaped tent with a bathtub floor. The interior has lantern loops and 3 fairly good size pockets. One of them, which is above the door, is kind of a little attic space. The other 2 are triangular and come off the side. Moving on to the fly, you have a 15D ripstop. It is seam sealed from the factory, and I can attest that it absolutely works. When setting up the fly, what you're going to want to make sure is that the zipper is to the front. Keep in mind this may be velcroed closed, so it isn't necessarily very easy to tell where that zipper is. You want the orange side on the left, same as the poles with the setup. Basically everything on this tent is orange to the left and gray to the right. Once you have the fly over the pole, you want to throw back the top center and look for the attachment strap that goes over the same pole that the tent did. As you will see, most of the primary connection points for the fly are the same as they were for the tent. You can simply lift the pole up a little bit and pop on the fly's connection point right underneath it. Following the pole structure are a series of Velcro straps that you can attach, and these just give extra security in the case of wind. Once you have clipped in the sides using the tent's clips, you can take out the guy lines to form a huge vestibule about 12 square feet in the front. Looking at the tent head on, the left side remains a wall, whereas the right side can be folded back easily if you'd like a little bit more airflow or more of a view. This vestibule does have quite a bit of floor space area. However, it does take a pretty steep dive from the front door, which can make it a little difficult to get in and out. The vestibule itself is vented, and there are 2 other vents as well, so there is quite a bit of opportunity for airflow. You can also increase this by guying out the sidelines if desired, and this is where you're going to need some extra stakes. Takedown is pretty easy and intuitive. You just reverse the steps that you use to set it up. Again, I can't stress enough how great the roll bag setup is. You can basically just fold or ball everything up in the tent, lay it out on the mat, roll it up, put the caps on, pull the straps, and you are on your way. Overall, I was very pleased with the Klymit Maxfield. It was a fairly easy setup. I never really had any serious issues with it. Although it's not the simplest in the world, it is a series of simple steps, and once you get the basic idea, it goes pretty quickly. I was comfortable at night. I had plenty of room for my things. At $400, it's coming in below the Big Agnes Copper Spur or the MSR Hubba Hubba. However, at retail, it is substantially higher than the REI Flash 2, the Tarp Tent Double Rainbow, or the Marmot Tungsten. Now, we do need to keep in mind that some of these are trekking pole tents, and some of these are freestanding. However, it is possible to get the Klymit Maxfield tent at a substantial discount, which puts it in a much more competitive price position. Trailsteading.com, who sent me this tent, regularly sell it for $349, and if you use the Pilgrim discount code below, you can get an additional 10% off, which would bring this tent in at about $315. And that, I think, makes the Klymit Maxfield a serious contender. I would recommend picking up the footprint with the tent if you think there's ever going to be a time when you need to do a fast pitch or attempt a dry pitch, but even if you don't, it just makes it really nice and easy to set up, and of course it will bring extra protection to the tent. Alright, so overall, I like the Klymit Maxfield 2 tent. It is definitely not what I would consider an ultralight tent. However, this is a quality piece of gear that will help you lighten your load off many of the tents on the market today. And if you purchase it from Trailsteading using my promo code, which you can find in the description below, you can get it at a very reasonable price. All right, I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, would you mind giving it a like? And if you are not subscribed to Backcountry Pilgrim, you can click that bright red button down there. Become a subscriber. Click the bell if you want updates on future videos. Until next time, I'm Doug. This is Backcountry Pilgrim. Take it easy.